Welcome to the Man Utd stream, hope you're doing well. It's Wednesday morning and we've got lots of transfer news coming your way. Yes, the biggest transfer news of the transfer window is of course Watkins and Cesco. Which striker will United sign? Now United are all about transfers. All the news actually is all about Man United. No one cares about Liverpool and Newcastle and Chelsea and what they're signing and who they're signing. Everyone wants to know about United because United are the biggest club in the world. They're a sleeping giant right now and all rival fans and clubs are worried that if United manage to get decent players in this summer transfer window, they might be back on the top again. And, well, United fans all know that if we do well in our recruitment, we will be back on top. That's what United are all about. But anyway, the biggest question we have in the last 24 hours or the last couple of days has been who United will go for as a striker. Will they be signing Ollie Watkins, who is a Premier League proven player, or will they go with the young talent Benjamin Cesco? There's some reporters saying that Benjamin Cesco is the one United are pushing for, and some reporters saying United are pushing for Ollie Watkins. We've heard in the last 24 hours Aston Villa have put a price tag of around 40 million. Now this is unofficial, by the way, off the record news. There's some people at Aston Villa who've let out to the press that Aston Villa, if they received an offer over £40 million, will probably sell Ollie Watkins to United. What do you think about that, Man United fans? Drop your comments below. Do you think it's worth paying 40 million for Ollie Watkins? I mean, 40 million plus we're talking about here. For Ollie Watkins, who's a 29-year-old with 2 years left on his contract, or do we go with the young stallion Benjamin Cesco from RB Leipzig? He is, of course, 22 years old. He has a decent stat record, scoring in the Bundesliga. Do we go with someone like him? Of course, he's a risk because we don't know what he might play like in the Premier League. Now, comparing the stats is very important. Let's compare all three strikers. We're talking about Rasmus Hojlund, Ollie Watkins, and Cesco. Rasmus Hojlund is our current striker, or last season he was our key striker, number one striker, played most of our games. Let's see what he scored, how many goals he scored. He had 32 appearances, scored 4 goals and 0 assists. And then we got Ollie Watkins, again played in the Premier League. He's played a few more games than Rasmus Hojlund in 38 games and scored 16 goals and assisted 8. Then we've got Cesco. He had 33 appearances, scored 13 goals and assisted 5. So just below Ollie Watkins. And you could argue that because of the games he played, 33, a few less than Ollie Watkins, his goal record is equivalent to Ollie Watkins. The biggest difference is, however, that one's played in the Premier League and majority of those goals have been scored in the Premier League, and Cesco has scored those goals in the Bundesliga. Now that is a huge difference in these two players. Will Cesco be able to replicate that kind of form at United? We all know that playing in the Premier League is not easy because the pace of the game, the brutality of it, just the sheer physicalness of the Premier League is shocking for players who come from abroad, and it takes at least a season or two to adjust to it. Now, do we stick with Rasmus Hojlund? Will he improve on those stats? I mean, they were shocking stats last season. 4 goals from 32 appearances, 0 assists. That's non-existent. United could have possibly played some other striker and probably got more goals than that. It's just shocking. Absolute shocking. But look, Ollie Watkins led the trio in both goals and assists, delivering 16 goals and 18 assists from 38 games. But Cesco wasn't far behind with 13 goals and 5 assists. And Hojlund, well, we all know he had a terrible season. Ollie Watkins, look, the pros with Ollie Watkins are that he's reliable, he's experienced in the Premier League, he's a really good all-rounder, his output, his goals are good, he's got a really high work rate, and he's tactically familiar with the Premier League and the style that Ruben Amorim will want him to play in. Now, the negatives of signing Ollie Watkins are fairly straightforward. He's 29 years old. He's only got a few more years left to play. His resale value will be next to nothing once we buy him. So 40 million or 40, 50 million we buy him for, and he'll be worth not even half of that by the time his contract expires at United. So United will not be able to sell him and make some money back. Cesco, on the other hand, he's a 22-year-old rising star of the Bundesliga. So the pros with Cesco are that, number one, he is young. He's got lots of potential. He's very big and strong. Most people liken him to Haaland and Ibrahimovic, so he could do really well in the Premier League. But that is also the negative. He's unproven in the Premier League, so adapting to the Premier League could be a very difficult transition for him. And the fee that we're going to end up paying for him in the region of 70 to 90 million, will that be worth it? That's the question we have to ask. Is he going to come in and hit the ground running? Probably not. Probably will need a season or two to adapt to the Premier League. Have we got that time? Have United got more time on their hands, or will United be better off going for someone like Ollie Watkins short term and resolving the biggest problem they have, which is someone who can score in the Premier League? In case of Rasmus Hojlund, there are positives. Look, he's probably got over his worst season. He can't do any worse, can he? He can't do any worse than what he's already done, and he's adapted to the Premier League. Hopefully this new season he will be ready. He's still young and he has got lots of potential to improve under the continuing coaching of Ruben Amorim. The negatives, however, are that he's just really poor. He's underperformed. He had no assists last season and just 4 goals. Will he improve on that? I mean, yes, he will, but how much can he improve? Is this something to do with him and the level of skill that he has and talent he has? And no matter how much coaching do you give Rasmus Hojlund, how much can you seriously improve someone like him? What would be our verdict? Our verdict, based on last season's stats alone, for immediate impact, it is Ollie Watkins. He emerges as the strongest candidate for a Premier League experienced player, and he can produce the goods. Ollie Watkins. For long term, however, you're looking at Benjamin Cesco. He is a better bet. He's delivered strong numbers in Germany and he's developing day in, day out. He is someone for the future. He could be one of those players that if we don't sign, we might regret thinking, oh, we had this guy and we let him go. Now, Rasmus Hojlund, despite his young age, has failed to deliver reliably last season. And look, is he going to improve this season? I think we do need to give him another season at United and see what he's like, but he might be sold in this summer transfer window. Let's wait and see. But for us, for weeks, we've been saying Watkins suits United the best. Right now, he ticks all the boxes. The problem we have is the price tag Aston Villa are slapping on Watkins. If we're going to pay 40 to 50 million for Watkins, it's certainly not worth it. Drop your comments below. Let us know in the comments below what you think about Watkins. What do you think about Cesco? Who would you go for and why? You watching the Man Utd Stream channel by the fans for the fans.